It's on!
And we're on. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Disney Parks Talk Live. I'm Rebecca Mosley, the co-founder of Laughing Place, and with me, as always, is Mike Celestino, our West Coast correspondent. How you doing,
Hello.
Mike?
Good.
And
had a busy
our
week.
Our East Coast correspondent,
Jeremiah. You froze, Rebecca. Hi, everyone. We are coming to you live from 2 on the West Coast and 1 on the East Coast. And the one that's on the West Coast experiencing a little bit of lag is very close to the Disney parks and seems to be on hotel Wi-Fi, as you can tell.
Yeah, and my message me myself.
I think this could be Parks Talk with Mike and Jeremiah soon, everyone.
I'll let you take the lead.
We'll give Rebecca a chance to catch up. So it's been a bit of a busy week here in the Park Talk. We'll start off with you, Mike, because mine, I feel like I could talk about an hour about my thing. So if you want to start off, and then hopefully Rebecca can jump in at some point.
Well, I will start off by saying I was very lucky on Saturday evening and found out about this live performance in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle by Ariana DeBose, who is the voice star of Disney's Wish animated feature coming up. And she performed the song This Wish from the film. And I know she did it before the fireworks show. The fireworks ended up getting canceled. So really that was the big featured highlight of that evening for everybody waiting there in front of the castle. But we have a full video on the Laughing Place YouTube channel. I know it's been very popular already to check that out. So you can go and look at that. But yeah, Wish is coming out soon.
Yep, that opens up November 22nd. But really, I mean, it seems like every major city around the U.S. is having some early previews for that. So definitely, if you're a D23 fan, check out, because I know they did an El Cap, and hopefully they'll be doing some more and more cities. I know that I've seen different things popping up. And Mike, as a movie guy, and this is going to be off topic for a little bit, have you noticed that, remember when it used to be midnight releases on Thursday going into Friday?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Friday night at 8. I went and saw the Marvels at 3:00 on Thursday the other day.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what's going on. I'm not complaining because it makes it much easier for me to enjoy a movie before that. But it is very entertaining.
Yeah, it used to be if you wanted to be like in the first audience, you had to stay up, go to the midnight show, stay up till 3 a.m. Watching the new Harry Potter or Star Wars, whatever.
Or Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
I can remember falling asleep during all 3 of those movies at 4:00 in the morning.
But now, yeah, like you said, it's Thursday afternoon, so it's a lot easier.
And since we're kind of we're kind of vamping right now. And talking about Marvel and the Marvels, were you over at DCA and did you get to see I'm sorry, or we're just calling her Captain Monica. We're not calling her Photon officially. And Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel were all out, or was it just kind of a mix of them?
I briefly saw them on Friday. Had a crazy busy day over at the Disneyland Resort for the opening day of the holiday season this year. And that was the same day that the Marvels started appearing at Avengers Campus. When I saw them, it was just Captain Monica Rambeau, and Ms. Marvel together standing in that spot where Iron Man usually is, underneath the awning for the Avengers HQ building. And I saw them like right at the end of their set. So they were out for like a couple of minutes and then they went backstage. And then I saw Captain Marvel by herself kind of roaming through the area. So I thought it was odd that they weren't all 3 together like they were kind of advertised. But yeah, it was cool to see. Monica Rambeau is new, obviously, for Avengers Campus. We've had Ms. Marvel before, but I think that she's got a new outfit to go with.
Have you seen the movie yet?
I have not. I need to get out and see that. But I had a crazy busy week, so I just Haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, she has a new costume. We're not going to spoil anything from the movie. No, Kyle, I had not. I would like to thank the great folks at Roosevelt's for providing me with a classy Big Bad Wolf shirt. Roosevelt's providing great clothing for a lot of the LP team. And if you head over to Roosevelt's right now, they are starting their Black Friday sale way early. They have shirts anywhere from 5 to 60% off some of the items. So you can head over there.
Hey, look. Hey guys. Okay, so hi. I'm back. Hi. I am without internet, so I'm using my phone. But here's the deal. I figure we can still chat with everyone about what we've been doing, and I will add links below so y'all can check out what we're going to be talking about. But because it's been really busy around the resort, so I'd hate for you guys not to be able to hear from Mike and Jeremiah and everything they've been doing. Hey, so Mike, we're going to start off with a special performance that you enjoyed at Sleeping Beauty. Unless, did you guys talk about this already?
We got that and the Marvels already.
Okay, cool. Okay, no, great. Then we can move on to what's been going on with Jeremiah over on the other coast. You've attended a few Christmas parties.
Yeah, I'm going to save the. I don't have control over the muting of Rebecca. Mike, are you?
Rebecca's muted now.
Muted. Okay. I'm going to save the big one till closer to the end because I feel like that one could be a little bit longer than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party kicked off mid last week. If you've been to the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you know what to experience. This year, there wasn't a lot of big changes, with the exception of the Frozen Holiday Surprise projection show, which actually started the Tuesday of last week. It's a new projection show on the castle. Has Olaf, everybody makes an appearance, but it also has the Snoogies show up. And it's a really cute show. We have it up on our YouTube channel. Definitely make it time to see it if you can't make it over the parks. It is showing every night until, I believe, January 7th at 6:15. And if you're attending any of the Mickey Very Merries, it's at 8:15. And then Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. The biggest thing that came out of it that everybody was talking about was Clarice now appears on one of the floats in the parade. The fireworks are still the same. The shows are all still great. As always, it's a fun party. If you want to have the most fun holiday experience, definitely do a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And that'll be all I'll say about the better of the two parties until later on. Okay, Rebecca, go.
I'm trying to get my headphones hooked in, you guys, so that's why I'm kind of distracted over here. Regarding the Very Merry Christmas Party, though, did you just mention the new boy band element that have you seen that?
The new boy band element, which is seriously just a bad boy band. It's the Collective 5 with number 5 IVE. They take over the Tomorrowland stage, so there's no Stitch's Christmas party, which is always a fun part of it. But the boy band is high energy. They perform, many of the boy band Christmas regulars, standards, I should say. It's a fun show, but again, I want to say it's about a 20 to 25 minute set. So nobody can really get into it. And as much as I love live performances, when you throw something out there like that nobody's sure what's going to happen and you're dedicating 25 minutes to it, it can run a bit long at times. But go check out the show on our YouTube channel. It's a good show if you are a boy band fan, because they are definitely boy bands to the core.
Okay. I was kind of curious what your take was, because I've just seen a little bit of the footage. So there you go. Is this better? No more echo?
Correct.
Okay, cool. thanks everybody for sticking with us through these tech issues. Like I say, we'll put links below, but we just didn't want to miss out on telling you all what's been happening around the resorts, because there's with the beginning of Christmas time, our team has been quite busy covering all kinds of events, both here in Anaheim and on the other coast over in Walt Disney World. So Mike, we're going to pop back over here. You have finally had a chance to check out the treehouse yourself. I know the past few times we've talked, others have been the travel in it.
Yeah, so this past Thursday was the Magic Key holder preview. I did it that morning, and then the following day, Friday morning, before the big kickoff to the holiday season, I did it for the media preview. And I think I've done it a total of about 5 times now, 3 during the day and twice in the evening after dark. And I'm really in love with it. I got to say, I think it's really terrific. They did a great job. So many great details to look at. I really could hang out in there. You know, you kind of have to keep moving right now, but I'm looking forward to the point where it does die down a little bit and you can really hang around and kind of soak in all the details, because there is just so much to look at and so many little nods to different things, and just a lot of, I mean, the kind of detail you have come to expect from Imagineering they've put into this. And I think it's been a really wonderful reimagining of the treehouse. So yeah, I'm loving that the walls are down. I love the atmosphere that's added by the treehouse being open back up, and without, you know, the big tree in the middle of the walkway there that was clogging up the guest flow through that area. And the water feature is really nice. The water wheel, the kind of conveyance system, it's all very, very cool, very well thought out. And I want to hang out in there. I want to spend some more time where you're not just kind of being forced to move along. But yeah, I love it. I'm really into it.
I have the impression that it's like even more vibrant, the day to night transitions that happen with the treehouse.
Yeah, I really love the like blue lighting that they've put on this at nighttime. I wasn't expecting that, and I guess I didn't watch. I know Disney had released a video, like a nighttime walkthrough video, but I kind of intentionally held off from watching that until I could see it for myself. But yeah, I was trying to remember if the treehouse was open. Was it open during the night previously? I feel like, okay, I never went up there at nighttime really before it closed when it was Tarzan's treehouse. But yeah, it's a cool experience, day or night.
Well,
yeah, I can't. Go ahead.
Tarzan's treehouse would close at times at night.
Yeah.
But when it was the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, nobody paid a bit of attention, and you could go up there and watch anything or do anything up there at night, because there's a great view of fireworks at times.
Yeah.
Speaking of lighting and new areas to relax and enjoy yourself, I know you were able to check out the stage that's developed over there at Downtown Disney. Wow, that area has undergone such a transition.
That I really love too. Yeah, it's kind of weird to be standing there in the space where the AMC theater used to be, but they've put in this big lawn, and the new stage looks really cool. But in the back of the lawn, they've got these like kind of rolling hills that when I was there a couple times, I saw kids like rolling down the hills. But I could just picture if they had a concert going on that would draw a big enough crowd, I could picture people like sitting all the way back on those hills back there. The performance I saw on opening night of the stage was, just kind of like they had like a local cover band come in and do a little performance. So I don't think it was advertised really. And I don't think, I think they were kind of just doing like a tech test to make sure everything looked and sounded good, which it did. But I could see like once those stores are all open, because they're still building out the rest of that little courtyard there, putting in more stores around that lawn. Once that's all done and open, I think it's going to be a really, really nice area.
And for those of you who are tuning in right now, I just want to say I'm sorry that I am unable to see or put up comments in the current situation I'm in. Usually we invite you to comment, we share them, and we answer questions. Unfortunately, I am very limited in what I'm able to do to get this out there. Oh, hi, Gio. I'm glad you're here.
And we got Holly also saying hi to us earlier, which we missed. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Holly. Thank you, Jeremiah. Because yeah, I am not even seeing the comments here right now. I barely see you guys. So
that's probably for the best. I feel sorry for those who have to look at Mike and I all the time on these things.
Happy Monday, Tyler. We were just actually out there at downtown Disney, the western end there. We grabbed some beignets. We grabbed the 4-pack of beignets and a frozen hot chocolate, and that was breakfast this morning for my husband and I. I would have to say that my favorite was the banana Foster beignet, and then I would go with the maple. It's a maple glazed bacon, but I don't eat pork, so I just got the maple glaze. It was good. And then I'd put the fruity whatever cereal, and it has like a fruity glaze on it. And then at the bottom would be, but still amazing, I would get it on its own, is the simple glazed. So it was a nice little 4-pack. So there you go. But it was a great place to sit. We were just sitting there, and similar to what you were saying, Mike, there were kids rolling down the hill and stuff like that. So it was great. Unfortunately, there's construction going on too, because they need to keep working on the area. So it's beautiful in photographs, the blue sky, the nice green grassy area, but the photograph does not bring with it the sound of the construction vehicle tearing up the concrete adjacent to where we were.
Now, how many of those new stores are going to be Earl of Sandwiches?
At least 2 or 3.
I mean, I'm not complaining in the least, but like, I just want to know how many feet I got to go before I get another Earl of Sandwich each time.
Oh, it was hopping. Earl of Sandwich was hopping, and everybody out here is very excited about the Thanksgiving sandwich that I know you know what I'm talking about, Jeremiah, the turkey and cranberry and stuffing.
Yeah, it was the holiday sandwich that started years and years ago, and it used to only be during the holiday season, and then it got so popular it is a full-time sandwich, and they've come up with actually new holiday offerings at times.
Yeah, speaking of holiday offerings, they've got some Life Day menu items coming to Disney's Galaxy's Edge for Life Day. You're going to be able to find over on Batu some treats from over at Docking Bay 7 and some of Ronto's Roasters and whatnot. So be sure to check the link below for more information on what's coming for Life Day over at Disneyland.
Hold on, Rebecca. You're skipping the most. You're really bearing the lead of that story that you can get the Life Day spork, but it's so far only in Disneyland, and I'm very happy that it's running until January 9th because I'll be out there later in this month. So if the Life Day spork doesn't come to Florida, I will get 5 in California.
Okay. Yeah, it's a shimmering red, right? Like the robes, as I recall from the image. I know we're not sharing it.
And the spork is just the normal metal spork, but it's actually, etched into the thing that says Life Day. And I was like, that's one of the greatest ideas ever.
I love it. Which kind of brings me, are you ready to talk about Jollywood a little bit?
Yeah. Okay, so Jollywood Nights, Disney Jollywood Nights, kicked off this past Friday night, and I've had, was it Friday night or was it Saturday night? What night was it? Saturday.
Saturday night.
It's all kind of just, Christmas is all blending together. This is the first new party, not counting the after hours parties, since, and this is something I completely forgot, the Princess and Pirates party that existed in the early 2000s that everybody loved, but only lasted for 2 seasons. This is a hard ticket event that can be very pricey. I believe the highest ticket price is $189 and the lowest is $159. There are no children's prices because this isn't supposed to be aimed towards the kids. It's supposed to be the adults get their party and the kids get very Merry Christmas party. But 8:30 to 1, they have the Holidays in Hollywood show at the Beauty and the Beast Theater, the Hollywood Bowl Theater, or the Theater of the Stars Theater, which is a beautiful show. The Muppets appear. We got Mickey and Minnie dancing like they just stepped out of Dancing with the Stars. They do some things that I've never seen characters dance that quickly doing. It is so good. Kermit, Piggy, Tiana comes out, sings an original song. And then really the big show-stopping number for me was Belle singing her song from Enchanted Christmas. And it was probably one of the nicest shows that I've seen in many years. It is a great montage show. It's actually set up so it's supposed to be a filming of a Christmas special. So there are commercial breaks that go in and out that have fun little jokes. And then they come back and then they kick right into it. It's a great premise, very fun show. I would see it multiple times, and I thought that was the highlight of the night until I went over to What's This? Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along, which walking in, wasn't just over the moon about, kind of heard some things, thought it sounded interesting, walked out of there. The next time I go to the party, I will see that show at least twice. And it's two hosts pantomiming two Nightmare Before Christmas songs. There is a special appearance by Jack Skellington, and of course Oogie Boogie comes out. This show was the highlight of the night. I know it would never happen, but I would almost like to see this show in the park full time. So that's the highlight night of it.
I just have a quick question regarding your how you ended up at Jollywood Nights. Was this a media invitation that you were there for this time?
Yes.
And did that give you access to various things throughout the evening, or how was that structured? Just so people have an idea of the dynamics there.
So it was a media invite, and this actually plays into the overall night. It was a media invite, so we had preferred seating for both the shows and a viewing area for Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam at the end of the night.
Okay.
With the preferred seating for both the shows, which we didn't have to wait in a line for, we just had to get there about 15 minutes early. There was not a chance in the world that I would have been able to get any of the food items other than me being able to get one of the first reserved or walk-up virtual seats for the Brown Derby, Jazzy Nights at the Hollywood Brown Derby, which was there were three special areas for this event. There was the Tip Top Club, or the Twilight Soiree, that was in the courtyard of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Had a great band, fun swing elements, but it was a small stage, and there was a long line for the bar, and it was also the exit of Tower of Terror. So if at some point somebody said, I actually want to dance at this, there just wouldn't have been any space for it. I mean, you could have.
Okay.
But the biggest challenge was we as bloggers, vloggers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, pretty much ruined the night because the lines for the food, people were reporting that there was over an hour for at least one of the options. You can go and read my full review that the link is put up, Kyle put up. But it was Disney has turned their events into, and I don't know, Mike, maybe you can talk on this also on the West Coast, the events you've gone to. they are leaning way into the social media phase. Like, it isn't about the experience so much as it is capturing the experience and sharing with your friends, because the food and the characters both had lines that if you wanted to do food or the character, you couldn't do the shows, you couldn't do anything else. People were saying that they didn't wait at all for any of the rides because you were paying $200 for the rides but not seeing the shows,
Right.
or trying to get the food. And Mike, this is kind of what you experience on the parties now with the character lines and everything, right?
Yeah, this is pretty much the same as we would get here at Disneyland After Dark, at Disneyland Resort. It's mostly about the photo ops and the unique character meet and greets and experiences like that, rather than the attractions, which are open, but like you said, there's not much of a wait for them. So it's actually probably a good idea. You know, if you do go to the park very rarely and you want to go to that party just to do the rides, it might be worth it just for that.
Yeah, and that's what
It's been funny. It's been funny as an outsider. I haven't been to very many of either of these events because they kind of became a thing after I moved away from the resort area. When I was close to the resort, that was when merchandise events were the big deal. And so you'd have these events where you'd pay an entry fee. They'd have a few offerings of entertainment, and then a lot of it was access to merchandise. And I remember my friends who were collectors who would go to these events extremely frustrated with how long they'd have to wait in line to buy stuff, or how the complications of the purchase system, where I was just interested in like the panel discussion and then whatever kind of little tidbits of additional attractions were available. And so I would go and I would have a wonderful time and I would really enjoy myself. Whereas, like I say, because of what they were seeking out of the event, it was a far more frustrating experience for them. So seeing some of the tweets, I kind of had that impression was really depending on what your goals were, why you had bought into it. You could either have come away having a really great time, or if you were looking for something that was kind of like just a really fancy evening out at the parks where you were dancing and singing and eating fine treats and enjoying fine drinks, that you probably would have had a very frustrating experience because those didn't seem as accessible as you might have as you should have expected, given kind of the marketing angle on it.
Yeah, and it really was. This was supposed to be a high class party. You know, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is very much there are shows, there's a parade, there's the fireworks, you can go on some of the attractions that have the overlays, and yes, there are food and everything else. This was 2 shows, 3 themed areas, and lots of the holiday food. The lines for the food were ridiculous, and that can change easily by the time the next party happens. But there was an hour wait for the holiday popovers, and they would put things like, I heard that the Kermit shake, instead of being the ice cream place next to it, was in the same as the holiday popover offering. So if you wanted one, you had to wait in the hour line for that.
Right.
Like I said, we had preferred seating for the 2 shows. When we got out of the panel, that kind of is a behind the scenes look at the creation of this, of more of the shows than the event overall. They opened up,
and that link will be below because we do have that on the site. That's
what everybody needs to watch for multiple reasons. But the Jazzy Nights at the Hollywood Brown Derby was one of the things that I was looking forward to, because it was played up as a high class, kind of like you walked into the Brown Derby and there's a piano player, and it was almost felt more like an open air, like kind of just an enjoyable area. It was, after the massive frustration, very much like the old Rise of the Resistance days of trying to get the spot. I was the second table into the restaurant.
And that was through using the app.
Yeah, this was the confusion of trying to use the app because nobody really knew what was going on. And there was a glitch in the app where every single person that was able to get through was told there was just a 10-minute wait. And that was every single person from the first people to the last.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know people that are still waiting to get called back from that. But
Oh,
I walked in, we sat down. They had a holiday menu with some small plates and some drinks. And it was, myself, Lou Mangello, and a couple of other people. And we all kind of worked together. We're like, okay, we're in. Sat down. We knew that we were going to do a quick turnover. So we ordered. Our food got there in no time at all. I went to the restroom, came back. Food was there. Drink was there. The piano player was up playing some fun songs. And then he just started playing all the Disney songs, which I don't mind. But at the same time, I could have done this at Disney Springs with the strolling piano player. Food was good, drinks were good. We were in and out in no time to clear up tables for other people. We went over, we saw the first show. We tried to get some of the photo pass options, but again, because of where we had to be at certain times, we were rushing. And again, we had preferred seating. We didn't have to stress about catching the two shows.
right.
I know people that left. They were so frustrated after the first 2 hours because they couldn't get photos with any of the characters because Phineas and Ferb, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Powerline all had like an hour. Cast members were telling guests that there was a 3-hour wait for Phineas and Ferb, which couldn't have been the case because there was no space for it. But at least people were waiting an hour. And that's not something that can be fixed, really. The food can be improved a little bit. It was just, the shows were the highlight for me. And then we walked out of What's This? And the rain had started. So I didn't stay all Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. But it's the same Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam that before the pandemic was free every night during the holidays for Disney Hollywood Studios guests. So if you want to go and spend almost $200, know what you're getting into. There are some excellent elements to this party. I really hope, and I'm going to get on the 27th of this month, that I hope can report that things have improved. But at the same time, it's hard to fix the things that are going on. In my article that I put out, I spelled out the naughty and
your naughty list and nice list. I thought that was a good spin.
Everything. The nice list, really the shows. The What's This show, I will see that show. I would sit in that show the entire night. It's just so cool.
Wow.
But one of the things that I did at the end was my wish list to Santa of hopefully next year they go and they add in some extra things. One of the things that they really should have done is play to the different areas of the park to spread people out.
Right.
Toy Story Land, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and Muppets. As it turns out, all three of those areas have their own holiday specials. And if you put Chewbacca in a Life Day robe, I know Mike would fly out here on his own to come and wait an hour and a half for that. But it was very much, it was aggravating. And it wasn't just...
That's too bad.
And it was, all of us kind of looked at each other and goes, there's amazing parts of this puzzle. It's just the puzzle doesn't come together fully. And one of the things that I would have loved, and I think it would have been easy to kind of help with it, put a Hollywood Christmas parade just down the road.
Like a little cavalcade of some sort.
The stuff that they had during the pandemic, it would have just helped draw people someplace else. But at the same time, there were lines. Oh, and let's not even talk about the line to get the Gertie cookie. That was...
Did they? So much. Yeah, I saw. I saw how long it was in some tweets. Was there any hint that we might see some of these holiday elements that were kind of at the party continue on, be available outside of the party at all? Like we've seen, like Gio points out, there have been in the past elements of the Christmas party that would then find their way into kind of the day-to-day ops.
there is nothing that they would be able to do because both the shows take a major setup. Like, especially What's This? If you're used to the Frozen stage in there and you walk in like, oh, that's beautiful. There are curtains everywhere. There are massive curtains with designs. It's the state. Like, I walked in was just dumbfounded.
Wow.
The band performances, they could. Here was one of the most frustrating things that I was getting from my friends that were trying to enjoy everything. The pianist and the Twilight Soiree were live bands. Same with the stuff on Commissary Lane. There was a guitarist and a band. If you have a live act, they can play for, I believe they can play up to 30 to 45 minutes straight. And then they have to take a break. The Twilight Soiree, the pianist in Brown Derby, there was nothing to take their place. I had people that said they went into the Twilight or the Tip Top area multiple times. All they saw were the instruments sitting there. And they thought that was the joke is, oh, they're just ghosts. And then later in the evening, people were saying that they were pretty much trapped in the Brown Derby for up to an hour and a half because the wait to get their food, once they got their food, trying to get the check and everything. And again, that's stuff that can improve over time.
Right, yeah. But you don't expect, but when you're paying for an event like this with a company like Disney that's been doing it for so long, you understand there's going to be opening night challenges and whatever, but something on kind of this level where you're confronted with it moment after moment, that's not expected.
Yeah, I mean, this is how I'll put it to fans. It wasn't quite as bad as the Disneyland Light Magic annual pass party. It wasn't as bad as the Disney Hollywood Studios Villains nights that weren't hard tickets but extra hours. But it wasn't a Very Merry or a night or a Mickey's Not So Scary where you had stuff to do. I was talking to my roommates who are going, and they're saying, oh, well, they could have fixed the food. If they fix the food and you can get your food pretty quickly, then you're going to end up being bored because you have two shows, characters, and then the fireworks at 12:30 at night. There isn't enough to do without waiting in line for the food. Or there is too much to do if you want all the food. And I know people will go just to try to get all the food, and they have an amazing lineup of food. I would have loved to have tried so many things, but again, an hour wait for some of the options wasn't something that I could do.
Sounds like they almost, I mean, if they were able to kind of increase the amount of offerings, sounds like it might be nice to have like a package that's like the treats package, and so you know that you can like go up to a place and claim 6 items. You know, it's like walk up and walk away with the Gertie, with the gingerbread thing, whatever this, you can pick from six treats or something. That's amazing. Mike, when Jollywood Nights was first announced, was this something that you were like, oh man, I'd like to go to that? This sounds like a hoot and a half.
Well, I would say the Tip Top Club is really appealing to me as a concept. You know, that's something that's been part of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror like lore since the very beginning that you'd always like to see. So that would have been the big draw for me. Also, the clips I've seen from the Nightmare Before Christmas show are really cool. I like that Jack puppet a lot, and the Oogie Boogie walk around costume that the mouth actually moves. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. Otherwise, I mean, I'm very conflicted about these after hours events because I've covered so many of them here, and I always find myself kind of scratching my head as to what the actual appeal is for regulars, you know. And I get the photo op thing. People like to meet unique characters and take the photo ops and stuff, but that's not really my thing. So other than those things that I listed, I don't know if there would be much that I would be excited about.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things that we're now in the mindset of the after hours. Instead of actual parties, it's the after hours of you go in, they're the characters. this was supposed to be this is a new party. It's not marketed as after hours, so it's supposed to be merry, very, very merry, that kind of stuff. But there was just a lot of stuff kind of thrown in different areas without any cohesive element to it. I mean, it the Christmas feel. The Mickey and Minnie characters, because it wasn't aimed for kids, they didn't have long lines. But you say Phineas and Ferb, who people haven't seen in years out, everybody's waiting in line for that. And they had this cute Christmas tree with Perry at the top. And it was, again, they just kind of threw out different, it's like taking the Epcot model. Like, hey, we have two halves. Let's just stick them together. Hey, it works. And this was, hey, we have three different parts. Let's stick it together. Not so much.
Yeah, it's going to be very interested to see how, if they retool this. I mean, over the years as Disney fans, we've seen them kind of bring something forward, and it doesn't, it doesn't perform as you would expect. And, we've seen them tweak it and make changes. And then other times we've seen them try it and flop and, kind of shelve it, and it, doesn't return again. But because I feel like with Pirate and Princess Party, they tried I feel like they were trying every which way to get people to embrace that as a product over at Magic Kingdom. And it just never took off. And so whereas this one, it seems to not clearly it isn't performing to what people expected or should have expected. And so it'll be very interesting to see where and how they're able to make changes, improve the overall guest experience. As Nikki B says, it's disappointing when you see a company that's been in entertainment for so long have a misstep like to this level. But I will say you can find people who had a good time.
Yeah.
And even Jeremiah saying he's going to go back to experience it again. So it'll be very interesting to see kind of moving forward. But Jeremiah, you were at the presentation where Ollie was introduced. And I know that led to a lot of internet controversy, rightfully so. But it kind of is funny timing in that today, I guess there's been some Figment appearances over in Burbank.
Figment appeared, he was out in Burbank at the studios at a WDI, so they put out some fun packages of him exploring, which we'll see what happens with all of that. Never know what's going to happen. Maybe we'll get an announcement at some point, or maybe it's just them going, hey, look, here's some fun stuff. So Ollie. Yeah.
I want to see video I want to see video of Figment visiting the queue for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout and like looking up and seeing himself in the box up there and
that would be funny.
Then the universe would collapse. That feels like a timelines melding and like a tear in the galaxy.
So Ollie, which we had no idea, actually, there was nothing about this character. I mean, there was some reference to a neon sign early on. One of the things that I have said to people leading up to that is Disney kind of just clammed up about the entire party after a little while. Like it was, they're pushing, and then there was nothing. And then we go to the presentation, which was a fun presentation with the creative people, mostly behind the shows, the entertainment. And they do this hard push about Ollie, the first original Disney character since Figment. Disney Parks character. I'm quoting exactly what they said. So this is Ollie. He is a gingerbread cookie man. As they're telling us, Ollie will be at the main entrance, and then Ollie will be by the Brown Derby playing the saxophone. That is all that we know as we're coming out of this panel. Like, nothing else. There's this little thing about Ollie on the back of the map. Great. We head over to the Brown Derby, and there's a giant standee, like a cardboard cutout of Ollie. Okay. And all of us kind of look at each other going, we really were expecting, a walk around.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe there's something else. And then Benji runs down to the entrance to get the picture of Ollie and the sign up there. And that is the neon sign that is the main picture for my article. And it's a beautiful neon sign. They spent a pretty penny on that. But to push Ollie on us, like the conversation that they said, and you can go and watch the panel.
Right.
It is very much Ollie, the first original Disney character or Disney Parks character since Figment. And again, we're all thinking, okay, this is their wording. I'm not going to change it, which is why the tweet went out, which, hey, we got a lot of traffic off that tweet. So really, that's all that matters. I have talked to other media people that were called many names about that information that they passed along.
I wish it would have been I wish it would have been in quotes, since everybody was kind of head scratching when they heard it.
Yeah.
I wish it'd been in quotes, but I'm glad you put it out there because I think it's good for people to know kind of what's being said.
Yeah, and
maybe Ollie was created in the mid '80s, and they just haven't revealed him until now.
He's a slow cooker. He was ice. So Geo has a very interesting statement. Can you put up Geo's mic or?
Wait, with this one?
No, the next one.
Okay, sorry.
No plush or no merch for Ollie whatsoever.
Really?
As it turns out, there was no merchandise whatsoever.
Yeah, I saw a T-shirt.
Yes, the Disney Parks panel had put out something a few days prior saying that there was going to be no merchandise. And then as we were walking down Sunset, one of the fellow reporters said, "Oh, did you guys see the shirt or the merchandise?" We're like, wait, we were told there was no merchandise. And apparently, and this was Benji and Alex's experience, there was a line to get into the Carthay Circle shop outside for the merchandise. And they didn't tell them it was just a shirt. They said merchandise. So they got in, and it was just a shirt. And it was just, not even, it was this logo, but just not even, it was more than the logo. But
and I know we have pictures in our art. We have pictures in our article. I'll put the information, the link below for these various stories that we've been talking about. This is, like I say, one of those events where I'm very interested to see kind of what its history is going to prove to be. What will it look like over? What will we see as far as its changes? And that kind of dynamic. Yeah, exactly. And that kind of thing.
It really was one of those things where I was coming out and I experienced, for those of you who don't know about the Villains events they did in 2014, 2015, they were, the park stayed open. It was, the one was here, just stay later. And then I don't remember if the second one was a hard ticket that, again, just like the Light Magic Disneyland annual pass party, they ended up refunding everybody for the Villains party because it was such.
I think
a joke. Nightmare.
I think Light Magic was refunded upon request. I think Pirates of the Caribbean merchandise was refunded automatically.
I got my Light Magic refund without any request.
Oh, okay. I don't recall getting a Light Magic refund, so that's why I put it that way.
No, it was one of those, like, we were walking out. Quick story. We were walking out arguing with people that were in line to complain about Light Magic Party to try to get a refund, and they couldn't tell us why they were trying to get a refund. Just everybody else was, and we're like, we had fun. Yeah. We loved it.
So like I say, for me, my recollection is that it was the Pirates one that was the automatic, whereas Light Magic was upon request. But I'm glad you got a refund.
But this event, it will be very interesting to say, like Rebecca said, to see the future of this event. I could see them expanding it and doing a lot with it, and it could be a really great event. But the two things that are automatically like in the naughty list for me was the price point and the first night. Even with the media there, it was just there were too many people there. It like if you're waiting 2 hours to try to get a holiday popover or meet a character, that takes up your entire night, just like Mike has experienced with his After Hours, where that was designed for those characters. This was designed as a fun event or a fun party that turned into something that, go read my breakdown. It goes into a little bit more, but I would like to point out, they often give us cool little gifts as we leave events. And this wasn't media. This was every guest got this one. And this is what it was.
Oh, cool.
And
I know for like the Very Merry Christmas Party, you might get an ornament that you can put on your tree, things, or sometimes it's flat art.
And these are coasters.
Oh.
And they're actually even dated the year. So
they're like nice coasters. They're not like disposable coasters.
No, they're nice wooden coasters. Yeah. And that was one of those ones where I was walking out going, see, and this again fits with the theme, the feel of the night, the vibe of the night, if you will.
Right.
That it's supposed to be the higher class. And being there, I could see a lot of people didn't quite understand that it wasn't designed for kids. This wasn't supposed to be hey, let's go to bring your kids to this thing, because there were there was alcohol. There were bars in multiple places. One of the things about the Twilight Soiree that put a lot of people off is as you're walking up to the Tower of Terror, they did this great bunting and these amazing displays, but the line was all the way down to the bathroom, not for it to enjoy the band, but for the bar that had two bartenders with specialty drinks that they were actually mixing right there. And I walked up, and if somebody didn't go, oh, yeah, you just come up and go right here to enjoy the band, I would have just turned around. It's like, I'm not waiting in this line just to go up and see a band. But the band was really good, really fun. The play up of the Tip Top Club fell a little flat again because it was a small area. The band was kind of dressed a little spooky. There's some fun fog. Great music, though. Something, again, things that I hope when I go back in a few weeks, things have improved so I can go, hey, this got much better.
Well, okay, so I think, Kyle.
So at some point, I'm guessing in the night, and I think we've all narrowed it down to I pulled a tendon in my thumb. I can't really bend the tip of my thumb, and I have some pressure in the palm area from it that gives me some pain. So last week I didn't wear this. This week I had to, because one of the things that comes in so handy in our world, Mike, is these great little devices that I have to use my thumb to take pictures of. So the entire party I had to take this off, and I can keep my thumb bent, but then I actually, and this is not for the weak of heart, I have to actually take the tip of my thumb and straighten it if it's bent too long. So there we go. Douglas fir.
Is that what else you want? I know. I was gonna say, what else is out there that you guys want to talk about? My situation here is like I am seriously just holding on by a shoestring right now.
We've been there, Rebecca. We've both done it in the park where we're like holding the phone, trying to stay alive. Disney Springs kicked off their Christmas tree trail, Christmas tree hunt throughout the park, or throughout Disney Springs, which I haven't gotten a chance to experience, but that kicked off Friday along with everything else. One of the things that was brand new for this year is Douglas fir, a strolling or rolling Christmas tree that entertains guests, plays music, and talks to them. he is probably one of the newest characters ever added to the park. Actually, I guess Ollie was added after Douglas Fir. So, but yeah, Douglas Fir strolls around Disney Springs talking to the guests, and he is just a Christmas tree, lights up, really fun, very cute. Head over there, and you can definitely do it.
And Douglas seemed to know your name and who you were, Jeremiah.
He did. I guess I'm somewhat famous in the Christmas tree land. He's on our Instagram. We also have the video and article up about him. Please go check it out. He is somebody that should be around for a while.
I'm gonna make sure to put the links below to the stories we've been talking about. If you're just tuning in and you've never seen us before, usually we're sharing photos or videos of what we're talking about as we chat about it. But I am not in studio right now, and my setup died just before. Well, no, actually, in the first minute and a half of the show. It was beautiful. For the 30 minutes leading up, I was doing all kinds of prep here. And then just as we went live on air, the internet here disappeared. So let's see. As we begin to wrap up here, I just want to kind of highlight that we are going to be providing coverage of World of Frozen opening at Hong Kong Disneyland. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We've also got some information that came out from IAAPA. I know there's been updates on that just before we went on air. So be sure to check that link out below as well. Anything else that you guys can specifically think of before we sign off? I know, Mike, I haven't given you as much airtime as I usually do, and for that I apologize.
Oh, no, that's fine. Did you want to mention the escape room?
Yes.
That was on the list.
Yes, for sure. I actually got to see Mike Celestino live and in person last night because we went to a fantastic escape room. I will let you chat about it, Mike.
So there's this new Disney Plus and Disney Channel original movie called The Naughty Nine, right? And they have rented out a room in the back in time escape rooms in Manhattan Beach, California. And we, as a group, we went down, some Laughing Place folks went down and did this new escape room. And we had a tremendous amount of fun. I think we all kind of didn't know what to expect. We all thought it was going to be like a watered down type of escape room, but it was like a full-fledged escape room. And it, we finished it at 56 minutes out of the hour.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It was the goal of the mission is it's kind of loosely it's connected to the storyline, and that is that you're on the naughty list, but you really wanted this one item, so you make your way to the North Pole, to Santa's workshop, so that you could procure the item, even though you're on the naughty list. And so it was all with centered around Santa's workshop. So you had lots of gingerbread. You had gingerbread smells. You had little gingerbread houses that you were kind of as the set pieces. There were elements of Santa and elves and reindeer and all that fun stuff as part of it. And it was such a hoot. We had a great time.
It was a good escape room. It wasn't just a museum or
no, it was an actual escape room. Yes.
Okay.
It was fantastic. And the article we have on Laughing Place, we'll send you to the link because it is a free to experience offering. So if you haven't tried an escape room and you're in the Manhattan Beach, Southern California area, be sure to check out that link. It was I thought it was really, the way it was designed, I thought it really was able to kind of incorporate a lot of people together of varying interests and ages. And it wasn't so complicated that, you were totally challenged, but yet it was challenging enough. And the way in which it was challenging, you could still bring along littles to do an element of the challenging part. I thought that's one of the things I like.
Doobie wants to know what I thought of the treehouse, and I said earlier that really like it a lot. I think I've done it 5 times now, and I am really looking forward to kind of being able to take my time with it instead of being forced to move along. When the newness dies down a little bit, I'll hang out in there a bit more.
I heard there was a switchback the first few days for it.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank everyone for sticking with us while we kind of dealt with these technical issues and weren't quite as graphic as
Hey,
we
I talked about my
usually are.
film, and it's pretty graphic to me.
So we'll be back next week. Stay tuned for continuing updates. Doobie and I just were able to get a few photos of over at Downtown Disney and over at the Pixar Hotel area. So we'll have that stuff up as well. And I think Doobie may be Doobie is going to be doing some interviews here at the resort. So be looking for that content as well. So thanks everyone. One of you guys is going to hit the button to end stream because I do not have that option over here.
Okay. Do I want to put up the? I guess we don't. It doesn't matter. All right. Bye.
You don't need to today. We'll just say bye.